So I really enjoy Mortal Kombat. I love the games, I love the older games, I love the newer games, I love the 90s movie, I have it on DVD. The new movie, let's talk about it, because my feelings on it are quite mixed. I'm just going to break it down into things I like and things I don't like. There's not a general structure to this, it's just going to be a bit of a rant. Thing I like, number one, the majority of fight scenes are pretty good. Special highlight has to go to the beginning and the ending fights between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. A lot of the fights are really well choreographed, the editing in some of these are pretty good, and the actors are clearly trying their best. It's good. A lot of it's really, really good. I think the worst fight in the film would have to be the Mileena and Sonya fight at the temple. The editing's very quick because they're trying to hide the fact that Mileena is clearly using like rubber knives or daggers or whatever. It's very funny. I saw a video on it. It's very funny. I can't unsee that now. I think the best fight would have to be probably the final battle between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Just the way Scorpion comes into the fight by pulling the Sub-Zero over to him, Sub-Zero making the blood into a dagger so he can stab Scorpion. All the cool shit that they do. It's great. It's incredible. Scorpion only speaking in Japanese. Cool. It's a really cool finale. And I like it. Even when Cole comes in. Speaking of Cole, problem number one. Cole Young is a worthless character. So on paper, I understand Cole, right? He's created for the movie to act as the audience's surrogate, right? He's experiencing this new world and these characters and these events at the same time we're experiencing it. I get it. But as a character, Cole Young sucks. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not the worst movie protagonist of all time. In fact, there are some things I like about Cole. I like Louis Tan as an actor. I think he's really good in the role. He's selling it well. I like the fact that Cole is an MMA fighter at the beginning of the movie, and that he sucks at it. That's kind of fun. And they bring it back in an interesting way later in the film when he gets his powers and he's fighting Goro. They incorporate some of his MMA fighting moves into that. That's a nice reincorporation. I like that Cole is a family man. He has a wife and a kid, as opposed to just having a kid and like a dead wife or an ex-wife. So I like that. But other than that, he kind of sucks. He doesn't win a lot of fights in the movie. Our main character, he doesn't win a lot in the movie. He beats Goro. He helps out during the reptile fight by telling Kano to use a flare, and he throws a knife to Sonya, I think. He doesn't beat Mileena. Sonya kills Mileena. And he helps during the final battle, but he doesn't win the fight. Yeah, Cole sucks. He doesn't win a lot of fights. He sucks as a character. Yeah, Cole Young, I don't get why they couldn't have just used any other character. I'm kind of mad that Liu Kang wasn't the main character, considering Liu Kang is typically like the hero of the MK franchise. Why couldn't they have just used him? I don't know. Next thing I like. I enjoy a lot of the characters' designs for the most part. They all look pretty good. Special emphasis on Kung Lao and Scorpion. I think those two have my favorite designs in the film. Problem number 2. The villains suck. The villains suck. There are a few villains in this movie. We have the main villain, who Shang Tsung is the main villain. At least I think he's the main villain. So Shang Tsung's plan is to get all of these assassins to kill Earthrealm's champions before the tournament begins. I also want to point out that in this Mortal Kombat movie, there is no Mortal Kombat. That really pissed me off when I finished watching the movie for the first time, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, there was no tournament. But yeah, so Shang Tsung gets these assassins. And the assassins are interesting. So Sub-Zero is one of the assassins. Sub-Zero is really well handled in the movie. I'm not including him in this villain rant. He's really good. I like him. We have Melina, who isn't interesting in any way, shape, or form. I don't know why they introduced Melina before Katana. As far as I remember, there's no reference to her at all. It's kind of weird. I don't get introducing Melina before. I don't understand. It's weird. She doesn't do anything either. She just shows up, does a bit of fighting, dies. Her design kind of sucks too. I'm not huge on the mouth design that they go with. I don't know, maybe if they made it look a bit more monstrous, I guess. She's not intimidating at all. Any interesting details about her character are just not present. And no disrespect to the actress, whose name I can't remember, but I'll put it here. Because I think she probably could have done a good job if they gave her like a more beefy role, but she's not that important. She's equally as important to the film as Nitara and Reiko. So Nitara and Reiko are also in this movie. Nitara is like a vampire, from what I gather from the games. I haven't played a lot of the 3D era games, so if anyone has, let me know. But Nitara doesn't say a single line of dialogue in this movie. All she does is fly and look menacing. Her only purpose in the movie is to have Kung Lao use his fatality. And yeah, it's a really, really cool fatality. I love it, the gore, the effects, it's incredible. But Nitara doesn't do anything. Like, Reiko isn't that much better, but at the very least he fights for a little bit longer. Reiko's just a big dumb brute. From what I gather, Reiko in the games was like a bit more tactical and like intelligent. I don't know why they couldn't have just used any other brute character. I don't know, maybe Baraka would have been nice. I guess, I don't know, man, I don't know. And of course we have, my favourite villain in the movie, other than Sub-Zero, is Kabal. Kabal is really epic. He has the best line in the movie, which I'm gonna play right now.
He's about to get his soul sucked.
That's really funny, I like it. I like his design too. I don't mind Kabal. He's fun, I guess. I like him. I wish there was more of him. Honestly, if he was just the only villain, I wouldn't mind. Problem number... It's at this point that you're about to realize that I have way more issues with this movie than I do things that I like. Problem number 3. Well, this is kind of an add-on to the villain problem, but a lot of the villains aren't particularly threatening. And I'm going to talk about Goro in this section because I think Goro was a real big letdown. So, in the lore of the games and I think also in the movie, Goro was the previous champion of the Mortal Kombat tournament. He's big, he's imposing, he's brutal, he's a real big threat, is what should be happening here. And the movie has this big statue of him, and they talk about him briefly. I think Shang does, and he appears in the movie, right? So he appears toward the end of the second act of the film. He just pops out of a barn to fight Cole Young. Which, first off, why have Cole fight him? Cole at this point doesn't have powers, and he sucks at fighting, so I don't know why. So anyway, Goro shows up. He beats the shit out of Cole for a little bit before Cole's powers awaken, and I'll get to the powers thing in a minute, but Cole's powers awaken, and he kills Goro. He cuts off one of Goro's hands, and then he kills him. Goro dies, like a chump. All of the intimidation, all of the, the presence, the power, none of it, doesn't matter. He got beat by a guy who just got his powers. Cool. They effectively turned Goro into a jobber in this movie. Well done. Good job. You took one of the biggest threats and you just turned him into a dumb piece of shit. Cool, congrats. I like the design of Goro though, and I do like the CGI. It looks fairly good. There's some shots where I'm not particularly fond of, but it looks good, sounds good. Shame that he sucks. I don't know, maybe he could have been the final battle. I don't know, but yeah, they kind of ruined him. And that goes for a lot of the villains. A lot of the villains suck. They're not particularly intimidating. And in the final battle, all of the villains go out like chumps. But it doesn't matter anyway, because the villains are probably going to come back for the second movie anyway. Because why would you kill off like a good chunk of these villains before the actual tournament? Like, why would you kill Melina before you bring in her sister? Why would you kill, Sub-Zero before you can have the tournament? You know what I mean? Why would you kill Goro before the tournament? I don't know. But it doesn't matter, because they're probably coming back for the sequel anyway, because Shang Tsung can resurrect them, I guess. Cool. Shang Tsung also does nothing the whole movie, except kill Kung Lao in a sequence that really kind of sucks. But it did give us that really good Cabal line from earlier, so they really are hyping up Johnny Cage. I sure hope he plays a big role in the sequel. I'm conflicted on the Mortal Kombat movie, because on the one hand, most of the heroes are pretty good, the costumes are great, the gore is wonderful, and the fight scenes are pretty good for the most part. But on the other hand, the villains don't really matter, the story doesn't really matter, and Cole Young is kind of useless, so I mean, kind of sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna make another video talking about the old Mortal Kombat movie at some point, so expect that in the future. Kisses. Mwah.